You were strong-willed.
Everything's gonna be fine.
People like you. You're funny and strong.
Your bullies moved away.
Oh crap! Are we recording this?
Our meditation, not the meditation circle.
Anyway, yeah. What's up? It's yeah. It's
Welcome to Real Neighbours.
Yeah, episode 49.
I hope Austin thought that was funny.
It's 49, dude. That's old. If each podcast was a year,
That would be a 49-year-old person.
that'd be old.
I mean, it kind of depends on how you look at it. I mean, compared to like the age of a civilization, is that really old?
Ooh, compared to the age.
Jamie, I left this freaking fan on. Whoops.
How dare you leave it comfortable in here?
I know. I don't want it to. I want to keep you on edge.
Turn
obviously.
that shit off, dude.
Air circulation.
Yeah, we want to be
Not in here.
stuffy and uncomfortable in here.
You know, I'm only starting to remember now that I've been bitching about the heat in here for so long that I've forgotten that winter is coming.
Yeah, now we're gonna be bitching about.
We're gonna go back to that I almost said the sizzly cold.
The sizzly cold on my skin. Yeah.
Hey, Jamie, that's another good song name. You know, at this rate, I'm gonna make a full album.
Sizzly cold. Sizzly skin.
Anything that's an oxymoron, I always find appealing.
Yeah.
Things that are conversely incompatible.
Yeah.
Did you ever see snow that's just kind of got like a little bit of like the sizzling going on, like bacon?
Whoa, wait a minute. The frozen sun.
A cold sun, but that's already been taken.
Is it? What?
It's a Soundgarden lyric.
Is it actually?
Yeah, the song 4th of July. It's one of my favorites. Of course I know the lyrics.
Yeah? Why don't you sing it?
Naked in the cold sun,
Oh.
breathing life like fire.
That's deep. So we...
I mean, I think he did it he wrote it while he was on acid, but
Probably.
and I think it's because he could hear people behind him or something that weren't there.
Yeah. Makes sense
So
to me.
you said that's deep, but I would argue I'm like, yeah, it's deep, but also at the same time, not deep at all.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like acid. Yeah, that's
I thought it was a patriotic song, but then I looked. Then I accidentally saw an interview, and I went, "Oh, okay, it was just tripping balls."
yeah. Is
But
that
I mean, that's most music, probably. So
yeah, Mozart
whatever they had at the time, he was doing it.
probably.
I don't know what it was.
Was it apparently Beethoven was like deaf.
I feel like everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had to use and when he became deaf, he had to use a transmission of vibration to understand what.
Yeah, so apparently he cut the legs off the piano and had it on the ground. He felt the vibrations.
Yeah, he would listen to the vibrations. Yeah,
Yeah. That sounds like acid.
he was tripping the whole time.
tripping
That's all just a huge euphemism for him just doing hard drugs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, did you say he became deaf?
Yeah. He wasn't always deaf.
Oh, okay.
No.
I didn't know that.
I think there was even a movie about it. I think I even watched it. Wow. I would say if you know anything about classical composers, that's the one thing you do know. You
That's
know
true.
Beethoven and the fact that he either, as you thought, is deaf or went deaf.
Yeah. Well,
And
he's
that's all you
dead,
know.
actually.
Real? You don't say.
He's no longer deaf.
You know, sometimes, Jamie, we talk about this. I'm a little out of the loop. I don't look into these things.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Jamie, I don't like making assumptions. Just because someone was born in the 1800s doesn't mean they're dead.
Yeah, right. You don't actually... You never officially
That's
heard
very
it.
presumptuous.
That's true. He could be out there somewhere.
Do you know why, Jamie?
Actually...
Because I'm open-minded.
Yeah.
I don't know. If maybe you, people in our audience should be doing that more often.
They should, yeah. I know, because everyone probably just snickered at that or probably just was like, oh, yeah. But the thing is, like, they didn't even realize that it's totally possible for him to be alive. Yeah.
He's probably dead.
Yeah. No, man. I actually had concert tickets to go see him, and then COVID hit, and he postponed it, and then he died. Damn it.
Jamie, I don't know if you should just take Twitter accounts for granted.
Died of COVID, actually. Beethoven.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a Beethoven account out there, and I wouldn't even.
There is. No, for sure.
Oh, Jamie, do you remember Do you remember the Helen Keller satire account we used to follow?
Yeah. It was like,
Remember, like there was like that dress thing. Remember the gold and blue dress or whatever?
yeah.
And then they like posted the picture. It was Helen Keller, and it said, "I don't see the difference. I don't know about you guys."
Yeah.
And it's just a picture of just a black canvas.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, I think...
Here's a picture of my flowers. It's just like a really blurry photo of someone falling on the stairs.
Was it? Yeah. Was that a Twitter account?
Yeah, it was a Twitter account.
Yeah, Helen
And I will
Keller.
say, I don't know if it's still around, but man,
It was fun.
that brought me a lot of joy when I was younger.
Me too. Yeah. I love
Imaging
laughing.
Helen Keller in the modern age trying to shit post on Twitter.
Yeah. I love laughing at the less fortunate.
Hey, being able to laugh at someone means they're part of the group.
That's true. She
I mean, actually,
well, she was,
that.
to be fair, she was laughing at herself. Right?
Yeah, but
it was Helen
this
Keller.
wasn't.
What do you mean? What are you trying to
so
say?
Jamie, the point was.
Are you trying to say she's dead too?
Yeah, this wraps into the whole thing of me saying, Jamie, that Beethoven and Helen Keller are probably both dead.
What the hell, man? Again, do you know that for sure?
You know, and there's also an argument to say that I technically don't know that for sure. The only information I have is the average human lifespan. But then again, Jamie, who knows what they're doing in some weird... What if they're doing weird voodoo witchcraft?
See, okay.
I don't know.
See,
What if they're sacrificing babies or Beethoven keeps reproducing and sacrificing his newborn children to sustain himself?
man, I have an easy argument for this case. Jesus was alive 2,000 years ago, and he's alive.
I mean, I would argue he's an edge case, unless you're implying maybe Beethoven and Jesus are on the same plane.
They probably are. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Damn. So you're saying Beethoven went to hell, took the key of Hades,
Yeah,
and rose back out,
probably. I don't know what he did. I don't know him.
or if he's dead or not.
And he probably.
what's
You know what?
funny?
He probably didn't because he was blind.
You know, for all this talk and everybody's, kind of, I know this whole conversation seems pointless, but I would argue that some people I do talk to can be purposely dense
Yeah.
in that kind of way where they go, I don't know, maybe it is.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like,
But
someone
like,
doubles down
well,
on
no,
something
someone's just
actually
being
really
difficult
stupid.
about things that you can make a safe bet on. Like, for example, 100 anybody from 150 years ago, probably now dead.
Yeah.
Beyond some crazy supernatural shit, they're probably all dead. We can just assume that based on the fact that we know who the longest living person was.
Well,
right?
I don't know.
And some people can be unnecessarily dense.
True. I don't know. How old is the oldest living person currently?
The oldest ever was in the 120s. Currently,
That's
maybe
not true.
118.
No, it was over 120. Oldest person ever. Wait.
I mean, if you count biblical times, I guess there's like one that was, 970? Something like that?
Who, Jesus?
No.
Okay, so the current oldest is 122. Jean Calment.
Yeah. I
Wait.
wasn't far off.
Oh, she died in 1997.
Yeah,
Why-
so I was
why
right.
is she the one that pops up? Because I've heard of ones that lived older than that. There was like some person. It was somewhere in Asia that this guy lived. I thought he was like 150 or something crazy. I don't know.
No,
Whatever.
I don't think so. Jamie, I think you're just completely wrong.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Maybe.
Beethoven's dead too, for sure.
Kate, you don't know that.
I don't want to culture shock you right now, but
Yeah. You know who's totally alive? Elvis.
with Tupac, I could be prone to believe that. You put me in the right mood, give me a couple of glasses of wine or something.
Yeah.
I could buy that.
Yeah. Okay. Do you know something funny? Out of all those like faked death stories or like conspiracies about artists, I would say Jim Morrison. I watched a little thing about how he might have faked his death. And again, like obviously I watched that shit with a grain of salt. I'm just like, it's just kind of interesting and funny. You know what I mean? I don't actually like research all this crazy shit. I'm like, what if everything you know about life is actually wrong? Like I just watched it just because it happened to be like somewhere I found it. I was like, oh, what is this?
You know what, Jamie? If he faked his death and he's still alive, I would wish he was dead because he should have spent the rest of his life outputting music for my entertainment.
That's true. Dance, monkey.
He doesn't get to enjoy a regular life.
Right?
No, Jim Morrison. And maybe that's what happened. Maybe he was like, I just want to go have a cabin and maybe have some
Casual life.
kids and get married. And they all went, no, Jim Morrison, shut up. You're going to make music forever for our entertainment until you're dead.
That is kind of why in the back of like your mind, those type of conspiracies aren't that far-fetched. It's like, if someone's like extremely famous, maybe they just kind of get sick of it and they want a peaceful life. Like it wouldn't even
or
be...
their personality's incompatible.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be... I wouldn't blame someone for doing it per se. Like they probably would keep in touch with their family. Like obviously it would come out eventually. It'd be hard for everyone to hide that, so it's probably fake. But
yeah, it's hard. Well, if I wanted to do it correctly, I just wouldn't tell anyone.
But then you just don't have any friends either.
You just disappear. Well, that's the thing is you're all in.
Yeah.
You know that when you are literally starting a new life.
Yeah.
I would be like, if I was that desperate where I'm like, I'm either going to off myself or start over without anybody knowing.
Yeah.
I would do the most extreme route possible.
Right.
To make it the most likely to succeed,
Yeah. Well, but okay.
When I put it that way, Jamie, I don't believe any of these people died.
No. Well, okay. So here's what I was going to say with Jim Morrison, though, that I did find interesting. There was a couple key facts that did kind of just makes it an interesting story. I still don't believe it per se, but it's just interesting. Allegedly, his bandmate said he was a big fan of some like poet who he wrote about faking his death or something, or this poet faked his death and was later found out that he faked his death. And Jim Morrison really liked this poet. I don't remember his name, but he told his bandmate, he said, like Jim Morrison said, if I ever die, expect a call from me in like a couple years. Like apparently he told his bandmate that. And also apparently only 2 people were at his funeral. Like only 2 people actually were at Jim Morrison's funeral and saw the body.
Did he die like the rest, like a overdose?
Oh, yeah, he
overdosed, right?
Oh, yeah. He was a big drug addict.
Jamie, maybe he was close to doing that.
Right.
It could be.
But one other fact about it, though, is he was buried in France. 2 people apparently were at his funeral.
What, his mom?
I don't remember. But also his, what's the word? Like grave site is smaller than how tall he is, and allegedly he's like his whole body is there. So there's like little things there. It's weird.
Well, I mean, Jamie, if anybody really wants to know, the only answer is to desecrate.
What do you mean?
His burying place.
Just like
dig it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
See what it is.
Yeah. All right, I'm down.
I feel like you would be shamed forever. I feel that there would be millions of people that would remember your name for doing that, and they would hate you for it.
The weirdo dug up Jim Morrison.
He's not dead. Mm-hmm. So Jamie, at that point, you have to believe it, and you're risking everything. You're going to give up all of your social status for a risk.
Yeah, he'd be totally dead by now anyway.
Yeah, well, it's very likely. He could be alive though.
No,
he'd be in his 70s. He died at 27 in like the late 60s, early 70s. He'd be in his 70s. What he's guaranteed to die before 70?
He was also a drug addict. So I mean, it's also likely.
Jamie, Keith Richards is alive.
You're
not going to be able to put anything past me now. Like that, the fact that he's not dead means anybody can be alive.
It's possible. I'm just saying it is unlikely. Statistically, people who use hard drugs that frequently don't have a high life expectancy. Typically,
remember, Jamie?
Statistically, obviously, it's possible.
Yeah, it all comes down to genetics.
Yeah.
How disposed you are.
Jim Morrison seemed like he had good genetics,
Yeah, pretty good genes.
Yeah.
Nice pair of jeans.
He had a nice pair of jeans.
Hey, I think he
had a beautiful mane.
Dude, yeah, he would always do those shirtless pictures with the tight jeans.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I got to say I like Jim Morrison.
Me
you guys
too.
You guys can look into that statement as much as you want.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after the pants comment, but
yeah. Very nice jeans.
Nah.
Yeah. No, I do actually just I love the Doors, man.
I like the Doors a lot.
Yeah. But anyway.
They take them too soon.
I don't know. You know any dead people? I'm just kidding.
Anyway, follow-up question. Do you know anybody who's dead? You miss them?
You miss them? Oh, no.
Yeah, I miss them.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, cool.
Cool, yeah.
It's pretty relatable.
Yeah.
I would say I've been quite fortunate that I haven't had anybody very close to me die yet.
Yeah.
Is that fortunate? Maybe I haven't lived long enough yet either.
Yeah.
It's going to happen eventually. It's kind of an inevitable fact of life. But
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is it's kind of arbitrary, right? It actually has nothing to do with how long you live. So there's definitely very young people who have very close people die.
I'm talking factors like as I get older, hopefully I outlive my parents, for example. So like that will just happen with time.
Oh yeah, of course. Well, not of course, but yes, probably, most likely.
Yeah. Now it would be tragic if the latter happened, where my parents outlived me. That would probably make them really sad. They're definitely probably more towards they die before I do. So.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's just statistically true. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. So I've had people I know die, or like kind of friends that makes you sad, but it doesn't devastate your daily life.
Yeah.
There's a certain disconnect of I'm sad, but this doesn't change the way I live really.
Oh yeah. Well,
compared
I
to
guess,
like somebody you're really close to that you see, let's say routinely every like week, couple weeks or something like that, then suddenly that immediately affects your life because you're like, thing that we always do, it's gone now.
Well, I mean, yeah, on this kind of downer topic, but I don't know. I definitely have had people I would consider kind of close to me pass away, but
Jamie, throw a joke in there.
Nothing too crazy. I mean, maybe they just faked their death. Okay.
and they're all on the farm.
Yeah, and they're in France.
I told that to someone recently. I actually think I ran into somebody. I'm trying to remember who it was, but I experienced a trope where somebody legitimately told me. I think it was a family member, and they said this to me, and I informed them afterwards, and they were devastated. They went, "Oh yeah. When I was younger, my dad brought the dog to a farm," and I looked at them and said, when you say farm, it means your dog's dead."
Right.
Or he probably killed your dog. And they looked at me and said, no, he brought him to a farm over and she like tried to remember the name of this, like where it went, and she didn't know, and she went, oh.
Oh, yeah. Like figured out in that moment, like my childhood is a lie.
Yeah. And I just informed her. I said, I don't know if I'm surprised you haven't heard this before, but that's kind of what you say when
parents just trying to ease the pain. To be fair, if I was close to an animal, I would be so angry at my parents if I knew they just dropped it off at a farm.
Oh, Jamie, I can one up you.
Yeah.
My Aunt Trish, when my mom grew up on a farm along with like my aunts and uncles and whatever, and in Nova Scotia I think it was.
Yeah.
And they had cows, chickens, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. And my Aunt Trish liked one of the cows and took care of it and stuff like that. And one day her dad came up to my grandpa and said, "You don't have to worry about your cow anymore. It's good. Like I'll take care of her and stuff like that." And she went, "Oh, okay, cool. I'll just play with it sometimes, but whatever." And one day they're eating food at the table, and and then he just casually brings up, he's like, "Oh yeah, we're eating your cow today." And he just says that at the dinner table because it doesn't mean much to him. He just casually says it. He says, "Oh yeah, we're eating your cow."
Yeah,
that's what he meant by "don't worry about it."
Yeah, and
then apparently she just like threw up the food and just cried and ran away.
It's like, this was my friend.
Yeah. That would be pretty traumatizing when you're like 8-9 years old.
Yeah, like even knowing. I don't know, any animal, if I actually grew up with it, I think it would be hard to just eat it,
Yeah, without knowing halfway through eating it.
It's more like out of sight, out of mind. I think a lot of people like eat meat, and it's kind of just out of sight, out of mind. I think most people probably do.
Yeah, but Jamie, I don't want to make friends with the things I eat.
Yeah.
It's just not good for business.
No.
Not good for the feels.
Yeah, no.
Let's just say, Jamie, that if in the future their solution was to make people stop eating meat, is that every single time you ate an animal, you first had to befriend it. They like forced you. They're like, his name is Marzia, and you have to like pet it for a minute, and then they immediately come up and like chop their head off in front of you, and blood spraying on your face, and you're like, oh my god.
I think a lot of people would not
Marzia.
I think a lot of people wouldn't like that for many reasons.
They're like, you want to eat your meat now? You want your steak?
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll taste good.
Yeah. this is little Tommy that you grew up with.
Crying while they give me my my chopped up steak meat.
Your veal.
Send me home.
Yeah.
I hope you're happy.
Yeah. No, but like, yeah, on the topic of like when you said lying to your kids, saying like, oh, the dog just has a new owner. I think if you tell your kid that the dog passed away, then the blame's off you as a parent. Like, then the kid can't resent you for just getting rid of your animal.
I mean, that's what you did.
Well,
you were basically telling your kid, instead of I gave it to someone else, you're actually saying I offed your dog.
Well, no, but you don't necessarily have to word that way because I think kids.
That's why they say they went to a farm, Jamie.
But kids can grasp the concept of euthanasia.
Oh, and you know what's so funny? The same person was doing the whole,
putting something out of their misery.
She was even doing the whole trope of, oh, he's out on the farm, and she's like, he probably had fun there and was able to run around in the fields and stuff. And I went, wow, that's tragic.
Yeah, that's some naivety.
That's brutal.
Yeah. I don't know. I think kids can grasp the idea that it's humane if a dog is suffering to put it down. So
no, I'm talking, we're moving and we can't have a dog.
Yeah.
And then you're saying not only we're moving, which maybe your kids are already resisting, going, we don't want to move. We have friends and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we're also killing the dog.
Yeah.
When we move because it's inconvenient. Or we're bringing it to a pound, and if it doesn't get an owner, then it gets put down.
Yeah. I was going to say, do people do that? Like they just put down their dog because it's convenient?
Well, the outcome. Well, what other outcomes are there? If you move to a city and if you can't find a new owner for it, and you have to move, for example, and you have to leave,
yeah,
then your only alternative probably is to maybe say bring it to a pound,
right?
And if it doesn't work out, what do you think they do?
I guess
the pound puts them down.
I guess I never thought about it. Yeah, because I guess I never pictured the concept of bringing. Say you have a 3-year-old dog and you bring it to a pound or bring it to get put down. I guess they would do it, right? Like a vet. If it's just a totally healthy young dog.
How about this? You're allowed to do that, but I would say it's deterred purely by the fact that it's frowned upon.
Right. Yeah, because I was just saying, would a vet do that? Like, if you brought in a totally healthy young dog, you're like, yeah, I need to put this dog down. They could probably refuse, right?
Well, the vet would probably say, why don't you just bring it to the pound?
Yeah, exactly.
And then they can put it down if they can't find an owner.
Right.
Or they'll bring it here and we'll put it down after that. That's probably what they'd say. Because they're like, why wouldn't you just exhaust all the options before just... I don't even want to deal with bringing him to the pound. You know what? Let's just put him down.
Oh no! And then there's some maniac out there who he does that, and then next week he gets another dog and he brings it in. Oh god!
With the plot twist being he just wanted a new puppy.
No. The plot twist is he's like a psychopath and he just likes putting puppies down. So
and he just goes to a different vet each time until they all know who he is.
No, if he goes to the same one every week, he must be able to turn you away, right?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
No, I guarantee you at a certain point the vet can just say, I'm not just going to keep putting
murdering
down
dogs for you.
No, there's a certain point you can absolutely refuse those things.
Right. These are the type of things I never actually thought about.
You can't do that. You can't just keep purchasing dogs, going to a vet and saying, I want you to look into his eyes while he dies.
Yeah,
the vet has no choice, and they're crying.
Just some fucked up person just does that every week.
He comes every week to torture this vet until they finally just quit their job to start a new career.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
the government says, no, you got to put him down.
That's
what the law says.
That's so fucked up, man. Oh shit, what was I just supposed to? Oh god. Sorry, man. I'm going off no sleep. Something about vets, something about dogs putting down.
Farm.
Shit.
Were you gonna say something?
I was.
Well, Jamie, just don't say anything.
All right. It's gone.
Just leave it be.
Yeah.
But point being, okay.
Oh no, I remember now.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
I was gonna say. I heard somewhere that vets actually have a very high rate of suicide and depression and stuff.
Well, that's because vets are probably are in that job for a reason. They're probably empathetic,
right? And I guess, and I never thought about it, but when I heard that, I was like, that does make sense, because that would be a rough job, having to just put down an animal all the time. Then you're dealing with all these intense emotions of the owners all the time. You know what I mean?
Which is interesting because conversely, let's say my Paka, my grandpa, he just doesn't value the life of animals. And a lot of people view that as, like, how could you not have a heart?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, I don't know, dude. He grew up under Nazi rule in Holland. He probably just had other shit going on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the lives of animals was just not on his radar.
Right. No, yeah, because it's all about upbringing for sure. If you're prioritizing your own life, for example, I mean, you...
Also, he's a farmer. He grew up on a farm, too. Like, lots of Dutch people were farmers.
Right.
And when he was a kid, he probably killed his first pig when he was, like, 8 years old. I wouldn't be surprised, right? And so for him, it's just the norm to... kill I would say he fully understands and appreciates what it means to kill something to get food from it.
Right.
While we have that full disconnect, where it's at an arm's distance, where we don't see the process of the food getting to us.
Yeah.
Well, he will snap the chicken's neck,
right,
and then defeather it and serve that shit.
Right. Which, by the way, there's chickens right outside where we are.
I know.
Now.
I was going to transition to that. That you guys have a chicken coop.
Speaking of snapping.
Speaking of which.
Oh, man. Don't make fun of me.
I still have voice cracks.
I'm like a teenager.
No, dude, the chicken coops are great.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty nice
Speaking of
setup,
snapping
too.
chickens' necks.
Yeah, so I'm saying, wouldn't that make you, like, even for a chicken, wouldn't that make you sad to just snap a chicken's neck?
They're adorable, yeah. There's a chicken coop outside the cabin
because you guys
now.
have 6 chickens.
Yeah.
And we just enjoy the luxury of we just immediately get attached to things like that. My pocket would look at your chickens and go, oh, it's good food.
It's a couple
if
bucks.
If they stop laying eggs, just snap their necks and buy some new ones.
Yeah, that's a meal. It's a couple bucks right there. Yeah. But yeah, they do lay a lot of eggs though. It's kind of interesting though. Like, so yeah, I've had some.
Have you had them now, right?
Yeah, I've tried their eggs. It's some fresh.
Are they delicious?
Fresh backyard eggs.
Yeah, dude. If you guys start overflowing, I'll start buying eggs off you.
Yeah, well, we're definitely going to. They do lay a lot, and I definitely don't eat that many eggs. I eat a lot of eggs, but I won't be able to keep up eventually.
Yeah, I don't eat that many eggs either. I just like they're organic eggs. That's cool.
Yeah,
I'm into that.
It is cool. But yeah, there's 6 chickens. They're pretty nice.
And they're well taken care of. They got a sweet gig. They get to eat kale. They get to eat, I don't know, like all sorts of stuff.
Oh, exactly.
But yeah, they go crazy for kale.
It probably is a lot healthier eggs than what you would get at a factory farm. Because they're just injecting them with hormones, trying to get the biggest, weirdest eggs out.
Yeah, the chickens are probably... I imagine all those factors come into play to make the egg...
Kind of malnourished.
Not bad, probably just not amazing either.
Well, no, but definitely I'm sure feeding chickens kale probably makes them a little more nutrition. Like, I'm sure they produce a little more nutritious.
I'm sure if their body is healthy, their body will produce something that...
Yeah.
Has more nutrients in it compared to something
just feeding them corn
out,
filler food just to fatten them up and pop out eggs. Yeah, and I was also thinking if we get too many eggs next Halloween, for example, just go around.
I like that, man. That's a great idea. We can throw it at the neighbors.
Yeah, just go around egging shit.
And don't even go far away. Just walk like 2 houses down and start egging your neighbors. And then the dots will start connecting. They'll be walking home one day and they'll hear some chickens, in the background, going back back, and he's going, huh. Those eggs did seem organic.
Yeah,
these
are some.
Those were some nice quality eggs that they threw in my house.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised they just threw it at next door neighbor. They didn't even go far. They basically threw it from their backyard.
Yeah, and just throw them over the fence every day.
Let's shit where we eat.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently you can own chickens in the city, but I believe you do need permission from your neighbors. There's some weird rule like that.
So, I mean, wouldn't you know that?
What do you mean?
Well, you guys did it.
Yeah. No, I'm saying, yeah, our neighbors don't care.
Cool.
But I'm saying, I'm sure if we started egging their house, they would be like...
Yeah, that would probably change pretty quickly.
Yeah.
They'd kind of go like, huh.
You know what? Maybe you should get rid of those chickens.
I don't know if I'm into that.
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel a little less towards that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's cool, man. It's really cool.
Yeah.
It was a great idea. And it actually doesn't seem like a crazy amount of work.
No.
It was work. It was definitely work. But
Yeah, the coop's pretty cool. I don't know. But yeah, it's very interesting just to think now there's just some nice clucking. It's like the clucking ladies on The View out there.
There's some nice hot chicks out there.
Yeah. My friend told me I should name all the chickens after each lady from The View. It's like the clucking hens. I'm like, gotta name one Barbara Walters for sure.
Jamie, I don't think that many people know all the people from The View. I think only you do, just because your parents have TV on all the time.
I don't know all the ladies from The View.
Well, you just named one. That's already pretty good.
Everyone on Earth knows who Barbara Walters is.
I don't know who that is.
Well, you didn't grow up with TV. Anyone who did knows who Barbara Walters is.
Dude, I feel like
she's
The View
she's very famous.
Is The View that popular?
Yes.
What is it, the Super Bowl?
It's very popular. It's been around since the 90s, maybe even 80s.
But you make it sound like it's the golden standard. I'm like, isn't like something like the Super Bowl the golden standard where everybody watches the Super Bowl? Is that really true for The View?
The View is American culture for sure. It's definitely not as international, I'm sure. But it's like Barbara Walters is on
Goldberg. Is that the one with Whoopi Goldberg?
Yeah, Whoopi.
Yeah,
she's on there. But no, Barbara Walters. She was on like I think like in NBC Dateline. Like she was definitely a big figure in pop culture. I think a lot of people know Barbara Walters is.
Barbara Walters.
You know Barbara Walters.
You idiot.
Everyone knows Barbara Walters.
Well, what about the other four?
I don't know them.
Damn, all right. How are you going to name all your chickens after The View if you don't even know who they are?
The OG View, like Joy Behar.
You do know all of them.
I don't even know if she's
They're
still
coming
on
out.
it. I don't even know if she's still on it.
Yeah, but you knew of them at some point.
I did, yeah. Of course I did. I'm saying a lot of people do. But
next thing you know,
I don't know who's on it now. It's all these random younger people now. I don't know who they are. It's 2021. The View's just, it's always just been a bunch of clucking hens.
Dude, I'm telling you, in a couple decades, probably like 20, 30 years, TV is going to be super dead.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to give a shit.
In 20 years? You think it's going to take 20 years?
It's already...
dead.
That's when the life support gets cut. Like, it's in a coma. It's never coming back. There's no brain activity. And then somebody finally eventually goes, you know what? And then pulls, shuts the machine off.
I just hate how...
They're not on life support yet. They're right now. They're like, they're in their kind of their last breaths. They don't have much time left, and then they get put in a coma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I just hate how
this whole analogy is kind of just depressing.
I know. Well, yeah. I just hate how like as people we went away from TV by having better things on the internet, such as YouTube and stuff that doesn't have commercials. We sort of avoided commercials. And now we're going back to having commercials.
Oh, TV stations are coming back. We're going full circle.
YouTube has ads in the middle of videos all the time now. It's gone full circle where the one cool thing about the internet that was way better than TV was you weren't bombarded by ads nearly as much. And that is totally changing. And it's like we're just coming back to having pretty much the same thing.
Or how about the fact that instead of paying one fee to get all the cable channels, now you have to pay a dozen fees to get a dozen streaming services so you can watch everything you want to watch.
Right.
The answer is nobody's going to do that. And eventually there's going to be a breaking point where people go, oh, this isn't working. Yeah. Then they'll say, what do we do now? Oh, we should have some sort of parent agreement where we all do bundles together.
Yeah.
Now you can buy a dozen streaming services for one set price.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Never heard of that. That's revolutionary.
That's going to change everything.
Yeah. That's
why don't we take all these individual streaming areas and put them all into one package?
Yeah. No, literally. But
all the execs will lose their mind.
I guess to be fair though, I still would appreciate that more than relying on time slots still. Being able to choose when to watch something is
Jamie,
still better.
But that's all like you got. It's the modern era of the internet age, and that's what you get.
Yeah. Yeah.
You transition from TV to bundled streaming services.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's not the uptick you'd expect from something like as incredible as the internet.
Right. Yeah.
I'm talking long term here, though, because eventually the internet's going to get shafted because the government's going to put their balls in everything.
Yeah, they
They're
already
just like,
are.
oh, how do we fuck this up? Oh, our 30-year lag is starting to come in. The internet came out in the 90s. Oh, we're coming.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It seems like what people really try and do.
Time to send the internet back to the 90s.
Yeah, the longer something's out, it's just like people are like, how can we fuck this up? Like,
Well, everybody wants a slice of the pie. They want to regulate.
Seems like the goal of humans for some reason.
The whole concept of even having anonymity on the internet is going to be eventually gone.
Yeah.
Being able to say whatever you want on the internet is going to be gone.
Yeah, this thing's really cool. How do we make it suck?
I know, no, because people don't understand. Yeah, there's people out there who just don't appreciate what the internet is, and it's such a cool thing.
Don't it always seem to go that we don't know what we got till it's gone?
I love that song.
Me too.
It's a banger.
Yeah. But
Real fans know what we're talking about.
I wonder. I just thought of something very weird. I wonder if there's ever been a very popular song that through some just miracle somehow was totally wiped off the earth. Like, what if something was very popular and then somehow, like, whether it didn't, just copies of it were all somehow destroyed over time, or they didn't print enough, and then it wasn't uploaded onto the internet to be preserved. I just wonder if there's if there's just songs that were really good
that made it onto the internet or never made it onto the internet.
Never made it on the internet.
100%, of course.
But like, and now there's probably no copies just because over time they disappeared or something. Or maybe there's like one person within their attic, but it was actually a very awesome song. It's just sad, man. That potential.
I know. No, lots of things unfortunately disappear.
Yeah.
And actually, I think we're gonna
disappear.
I don't know. I think we're going back that way, to be honest. Well, we almost go through these weird like ebbs and flows where we have these book burning generations that suddenly go, fuck everything, let's just blow this shit up.
Yeah,
let's just take all these books and just burn all of them in a big bonfire. Then eventually they go, oh, we shouldn't do that. And then another generation comes up and says, let's burn all this shit again. I feel like we're getting close to the book burning generation again.
Well, we are.
I feel like we're really close to the whole just like blow everything up again.
Well, we are in that. Look what they did to my boy Filthy Frank.
I know.
They already did. Like, YouTube is already deleting so much shit.
I know, but there's a lot of people archiving his stuff because they all knew it was going to happen.
Sure, but that's the thing. It's like, it's sad that people have to do that.
Well, every single day, the standards of what's acceptable is being updated, and all of history needs to apply to that.
Right.
So you got to keep up, Jamie. You got to just keep deleting shit on a daily basis.
Yeah, I just never understood that. It's like, if you don't like something, don't watch it. It's really
the fact that it exists at all.
Yeah.
Needs to go. Burn it.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we've even talked about it on the podcast before, but like old Filthy Frank, I used to love those videos, and it's just sad that.
And dude, maybe a decade
YouTube
from now,
just hates him, and they're just deleting all his videos.
And dude, guaranteed a decade from now, I definitely won't be as aligned, maybe even with the stuff he said, but I don't care. I still liked it at the time. That's what mattered to me.
I wouldn't say I would look at his comedy for any real perspective on the world or anything. I just thought it was funny. So
I think it does to some degree. I think it absolutely represents a culture. That kind of whole.
For sure. I suppose.
The Filthy Frank era, like mid 2010s, was like the very like over the top.
Yeah.
How far can we take comedy and shit like that? Like,
that
it was definitely
a
very fringy era.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That was the point, is pushing the boundaries, which is what a lot of comedians have always tried to do. But it seems like that's getting harder and harder because for whatever reason, it's like big companies give in to the people who complain, whereas before it's almost like companies used to worry more about profit margins in the sense that as long as they were making money, they didn't care. But now it seems that if there's some kind of like, even if it's like just a very vocal minority of people, they'll just go with it. They're like, oh, a lot of people don't like this, so we're just going to get rid of it. And it's like, okay, but those people just shouldn't watch it then.
Yeah,
really.
But we don't know how the cards are going to fall on that yet.
Right.
Companies are just experimenting because they're assessing what does or doesn't save the money. Because make no mistake, they still care about the bottom line.
Right.
They're just trying to figure out which one is going to improve their bottom line. So they go, okay, so caving to this stuff, is that going to make us more money? Let's try it.
Yeah.
It doesn't? All right, screw that shit. Let's go back to the way things were.
Yeah.
Like businesses are very transparent in that regard.
Yeah.
They don't care about anybody or anybody's values. They're just assessing what's going to make them the most money.
Well, actually, to be very topical right now, apparently Dave Chappelle did a Netflix special recently.
Yeah, I watched it.
And a lot of people were complaining about it. What I heard about it just from someone I know someone who said he turned it off about 20 minutes in, and he said I wasn't offended by it. He just said he didn't find it that funny, and he said he could see why people didn't like it because he was taking a lot of hard stances on a lot of topics, which, you know, I guess I can see why that if you're just it's almost like if you have a controversial like topic and it somehow make it funny, obviously it's easier for people to accept it, which I think Dave Chappelle has always been good at. He used to always say very controversial or edgy things, but he would do it in such a way that most people still found it funny.
Oh, of course. One of my favorite skits by him was the "How old is 15 really?"
Yeah.
I think I feel like, I don't know if you've seen that one before.
I have, yeah.
But yeah, no, that whole thing, I'm like, that was brilliant.
Yeah.
That's like peak Dave Chappelle to me. But
yeah. Well, exactly, because it's just the premise is just, it sounds so awful, but like it's just,
I know, right out the gate.
He's
right?
being clever. Yeah. So yeah.
When you're 15, you should be able to decide if you can get peed on by R. Kelly.
Yeah. Just yeah. But like that, but that's what I mean. So what did you think of the new special? Did you find it funny?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely worth watching.
But not one of his best.
You know, how about this? I don't think that was his intention. I don't think it was meant to be his funny special.
Right.
Because it actually hit some. Yeah, because your friend didn't finish it.
No.
But it was actually. He threw in a lot of jokes because he's naturally a comedian.
Right.
But it was a more of a story because he had a friend who he was talking about in this thing that died. It's a whole thing, right?
Oh, okay.
And he's able to crack jokes around all the but you can tell that it all builds up to this context,
right?
About this person that he's talking about. Mm-hmm. So he does enough comedy to make it funny and relatable and enjoyable. But at the end of the day, he's being a speaker. He's just being a really good orator,
right?
And I think if you go into it that perspective, it's really good. But yeah, I agree with your friend though. It's not really funny. It's
right.
It's very interesting. I think it's worth watching.
It sounds boring, but yeah. No.
I will say this. I think Dave Chappelle is an incredible speaker. He's an amazing orator. He knows how to, get the audience on his side.
Yeah, just captivate an audience.
Speak his mind in a way that makes sense. He's just...
Yeah, I don't know.
That's the thing that impressed me the most.
But apparently there's tons of backlash over it. So
there's a lot.
So I was kind of just wanting to watch it purely just to see like what could possibly be so bad about it. So I probably will watch it just because I just want to know. But
I will say this, Jamie. Mm-hmm. He's not afraid of joking about anybody.
Right.
Or criticizing anybody.
Right. And I would say he always has been like that. And
yeah, he hasn't changed.
He's always
the world's changed, right? So
I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, my friend said he was a huge fan of Dave Chappelle and he didn't really get into this one. So I don't know.
I mean, I don't agree with everything he says, right? But for me, it doesn't really bother me.
No.
If people say things I don't agree with, I'm like, oh well.
Yeah,
I'll just if I enjoy like 80% of it, I don't care.
Yeah, right.
I'll listen to the stuff that I don't necessarily agree with. It's not the end of the world to me.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat, honestly.
I think it's worth watching. It's 100 at the very least. Anybody that wants to,
as long as he's
not,
not,
at least watch it.
As long as he's not a murderer and I'm supporting him, then I don't really care.
Yeah, but he definitely
or a rapist or something.
It was definitely a closer.
Yeah,
he kind of said his piece. He did a whole thing, and yeah, I said definitely not his funny special, but it was an experience. It was very interesting.
Yeah,
I would say I wouldn't spoil it too much. I would just say it's definitely worth watching and checking out.
All right,
but dude, his other shit at Netflix that was hilarious.
Oh yeah,
I've watched all his other stuff, and all the other stuff, in my opinion, definitely was funnier.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen some great. Some of his stand-up's really great. I don't know. I'm still choked up over Norm Macdonald. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of Norm Macdonald clips. Yeah. Still recommend checking him out.
Dude, I gotta watch that shit.
He was also, I would say, his style of comedy as well was very much pushing the boundary. Like he was clever about the ways he would do things because he would make social commentary in a way that it almost was like he played. sometimes he would say things that at face value is absolutely awful, but that's the point. Like the joke is the people with that perspective. He's like making fun of people with that perspective. You know what I mean? You know, that way of joking about things.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like he was clever about it, but at face value, a lot of people are like, what? He said that? That's horrible. It's like, that was kind of the point. You know, it's like he was pushing the boundaries in a way. I don't know. Again, like, just I always thought he was a very clever comedian. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Jamie, there was one thing that I think they did this on purpose. And I noticed it. I was laughing when I was watching, because I was watching the special.
Yeah.
And I saw this, and I saw it later because I was like, I wonder if other people noticed it. But in the audience, I don't know if the producers did this on purpose, and they like gave like these particular people the seats. But there's like a couple audience shots where in the bottom left, you can see like everybody laughing, and there's like, you know, these two girls, you know, with like, you know, dyed colored hair and stuff like that, who both just have like the biggest frowns on their faces, and are just not impressed at all.
Yeah.
And I remember I like paused it, I rewinded it and watched it again. I'm like, wow, they must have done that on purpose.
That's the funniest part of the special, is the two people who are miserable at the Dave Chappelle show.
Getting just absolutely annihilated, in the sense that they were like, oh, this is going to be a nice show to go to, and then he's just dropping some hot takes.
Yeah, yeah.
And you could tell they were not having a good time by the end.
No.
Just huge frowns on their faces.
Yeah, that is funny.
And I'm thinking that must have been intentional. They must have set that up to go like, oh, who do you want the audience shot? And they're like, oh, we want those girls in the audience shot.
Probably their first Chappelle show, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm definitely kind of like, you should have known more about Chappelle.
Yeah.
Before you kind of signed up for something like that.
Right, yeah. Ah, man, that'd be weird to actually... I've always thought about that when you're watching something and it pans to the audience, or especially comedy shows, even when someone is laughing and having a good time, I've always thought it would be pretty awkward if that was me. Like, when it cuts to the audience and someone's like laughing really hard and then they like look directly at the camera. I've always just thought, I was like, I really would not like that if that was me.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm more introverted in general.
Just me looking like a goofball, just like like laughing after some like corny joke, and then I look at the camera, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, well, to me, comedy isn't laughing out loud. Sometimes it is. There are some times where they get a genuine laugh out of me, but for the most part, I'm just watching and I find it funny, but that doesn't mean I'm not belly laughing the whole time. But sometimes I do
sometimes. Even when I'm by myself watching something, if it's really funny, I laugh to myself sometimes.
Yeah. No, I do too. I'm not a fucking psychopath, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I'm not as enthusiastic as the crowd is.
Right. Well,
I'm somewhere in the middle.
I would say being at a live comedy show though, the energy around you, it's because when you're around people laughing, it's contagious too, kind of.
I've never been to a really, you know what, that's true. That's a good point, because I've never been to a professional stand-up comedy. I've been to ones that, like local ones, that actually I did laugh here and there. But I haven't been to like a world-class one where, like, you know, like one of the best is up there.
Well, yeah, so I think the difference is if you're watching comedy by yourself, you're not going to laugh as hard. But if you were in the audience, it's almost like laughter is kind of contagious. So you would pick up on the energy a little bit. So I'm sure you're more inclined to laugh at a comedy show than you are just watching it by yourself.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. It's got to be really funny to actually catch me physically laughing out loud by myself. It has to be very funny. You know what I mean?
I'm good. A little rant about stand-up comedy. Mm-hmm. I do think it is one of the most respectable creative forms because of it. I would say it's the most bare bone way to do anything. Mm-hmm. There's no, it's how do you put it, right? Because let's say you're a band, right? You go on tour. Mm-hmm. You start off and it's simple. You just kind of show up with your sound equipment and play a song. Then you start getting more famous. Okay. Next thing you know, you got like dedicated lighting tech, sound guys, like everything. You have dancers, like everything about it becomes this huge spectacle. Yeah. Right. Especially like, let's say rappers and stuff. They always have these spectacles they bring along. Mm-hmm. Like they bring multiple drummers, all these people to run around on stage, dancers, singers, all this stuff that it becomes more than the music. It becomes this thing. Well, the thing about stand-up comedy is no matter how big you get, the scale is the same. Right. Meaning you're just some person that walks out on stage and makes everybody laugh purely
just talking.
Yeah, just through your performance.
Yeah.
Just the way you move around, the way you say things, your timing, what you're doing with your gestures. That's all you're using.
Yeah.
And the fact that people can do that, to me, it's not the most difficult thing you can do, but it's up there. It's in the top 3.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I do actually. Yeah, I see your point. Yeah, I agree with that. Because when you're in a band too, you're like hiding behind your instruments. No, I just kidding. But no, it is true that there's like a layer of disconnection that you're still kind of tracking something, and like
you eventually become a piece of the puzzle, especially if you're in a band that gets big enough.
Right. But yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, stand-up comedy.
You're the package.
No matter
if you
what.
screw it up, that's it. It's over.
It can be super hype, you coming out. It can be some grand. It could be a crazy looking stage. It can be really high budget. But at the end of the day, as soon as your routine starts, you're just standing there.
Nothing.
You're just standing there with a mic. Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Right? And that's it. That's all you have. And I'm kind of like, does it get any more raw than that anymore?
That's true.
I would say that's probably why people still love it too, because of it. And I would say that's also partially why a lot of people don't want to really get into stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
Because it's brutal.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking brutal.
I think probably I can't even think of many things worse than just bombing doing stand-up comedy.
I imagine it's tough, and you have to accept that.
Just
probably
the shame. Like I would feel so embarrassed if you just went up there thinking you're being funny, and the audience doesn't react.
But you know what? You have to bomb, because when you see the best of the best, these big OG guys, they're refined. Because even when you can appreciate any world class stand up comedian because they're doing a performance, in the sense that they're dialed in, everything right from their timing, how they say things, their expressions,
trial and
what
error,
they're doing
probably.
with their hands.
Yeah.
It's completely refined.
Right.
To me, it's just incredible that they got to that point, that it's almost perfect sometimes.
I am sure every single comedian who's actually well known and successful at it all of them have had at least one show that went absolutely awful.
Oh, no, probably more than that.
Well, probably more than that.
They probably got dozens.
I'm saying even even the comedian out there who's probably had it the least. Like, there's none who are super successful that have not had a horrible show, probably.
And also, not only that, a lot of comedians say that before they do these big specials, they go to local joints and try things out,
right,
to see what the reception is. Yeah. They'll just throw things out there, and if they're not that funny, they'll revise it, throw it out, or they'll add to it, or figure out what made it not funny, or
but that's
too long, too short.
There definitely are people who are still more naturally funny than others, because I know my neighbors growing up. I'll just say his first name. Actually, two of them, Alan and Aaron. I'll just give their first names. I went to like a comedy show they did, and they were both actually very funny. And it was like probably one of their first couple they've ever done.
Yeah.
Can't imagine they've done a ton in their lifetime, but they made routines, and I will say they were both pretty funny. So I mean,
oh yeah. There's talent involved. Some people aren't fun.
Some people right off the bat are good, but again, it's almost like the more you do it, the more places you go. I mean, there's different types of crowds for sure too. So obviously, anyone who's super successful has had a awful night probably at some point.
And the big question is, do you want people to just think, oh yeah, they're funny, or they're very funny, or do you want them to eventually start walking away from your shows going like, that guy's the real deal?
Yeah.
In the sense that they're kind of like, wow. Mm-hmm. It's more than just being funny. It's an experience. Like, people go to see you and they walk away going like, I just experienced something. Right?
You saved my life. That comedy show saved my life.
I'm gonna go tell my wife I love her. Thank you.
Could you imagine someone, like some people are like that with music. If someone's that intense about comedy shows, they're like, that guy's comedy saved my life.
No, music is more personal.
It touches more emotions. Yeah.
It's very personal. Music can be very personal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe stand-up comedy can be personal too. I don't know.
It can.
And that, Jamie, that's why I've always harped.
There's people with interesting contrast. I've seen stand-up comedy that has serious moments and it's worked well. So that's definitely a thing.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, Jamie, it's not a great canvas to get into right now. But if you ever did stand-up, like I've said in the past, dude, I would critique the shit out of you. Mm. We'd refine you, dude. We'd turn you to a diamond.
I think it'd be fun. If, I wonder if there's I wonder how soon stuff like that is going to start popping up again. Because I know there are open mics for music starting to pop up again, but a lot of performance-based stuff has kind of been on the on the down, like just not really existing as much as it used to be.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I think it would be interesting to attempt stand up. I would try and maybe come up with like a little set. It'd
Now,
be cool.
as long as you understand that you are going to bomb.
Yeah. Well,
It's as in the
ideally
sense that
not bomb. I mean, it might
okay.
not go as great as
Yeah,
I
not-
expect. I don't want to bomb my first. I would probably give up if I bombed the first time. If it went absolutely horrible, I'd be like, "Fuck this."
You know what? That's the thing you want to avoid, though.
Right.
Because I would say, because I would argue that every single comedian that has any amount of clout that's been doing it for any amount of time has gotten shit on.
No, exactly. Yeah, we were just saying that. But I'm just saying, if my absolute first time, absolutely no one laughed, I'd be like, I'm just an unlikable fuck. Like, I'm giving up.
Well, that's when you just go back to the drawing board, right? Because you go, what made that not funny?
Yeah, it's like, it's
That's
me.
what's important,
That's
right?
the equation.
I'm a hot piece of garbage, and that's all there is to say.
Yeah. I would.
There's no analysis to make beyond me just being a piece of shit.
Yeah. It's like, they hated me the minute I got up there.
It's my face, it's my clothes, it's everything.
Yeah.
I need to just be thrown out in the desert.
Do you know what would make this better? If I was a different person.
You know, do you want to be an improvement, Austin? Me not being there at all or ever performing again.
Yeah. It'd be way better if it just wasn't me doing it.
That's a pretty brutal analysis.
Yeah. I don't know.
Come off. Well, cool. That was fun. A cool thing to explore, and I'm never doing it again, and I hate myself for trying.
In fact, I kind of want to give up on everything I've ever wanted to do in my life.
It's a good reminder that trying anything could cause problems,
Yeah.
and I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
Now, I personally like failure.
Yeah.
Failure's nice because it means there's only one way to go. Not failing.
I don't know. You
If
can.
you bomb a show, Jamie, the next one probably has to be better, right?
What if you just fail so bad you die?
Well, I mean, there's not much. I'm dead. What am
Yeah.
I going to do after that? Like, I can't retrospect being dead because I'm dead.
Yeah.
I can't go, wow, Austin, what could we have done better
Yeah.
to not die?
To be honest, if I bombed doing stand-up, I'd probably fake my own death.
You're so embarrassed. My reputation in Sarnia is ruined. I can never recover. I have to fake my own death.
Yeah. I'd pull a Jim Morrison.
And then I would imply to all my friends that I was mentally unstable before, and that's why my stand-up wasn't funny.
No, I'd tell everyone to tell everyone that they brought me to the farm.
And that stand-up would have been funny if not for this one tragic circumstance.
Yeah. No, Jamie.
Because I am really funny.
Jamie didn't die. He's just at the farm. I brought him to the farm.
He's frolicking,
He's probably frolicking right now.
running around, having fun, playing volleyball in the grass.
Oh man, volleyball. In
You
the
can do that
grass.
there.
Man. Sand volleyball is way better.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you're on the farm. You can do whatever you want.
That's true. Yeah. I love farms because I love chickens.
I love hot chicks.
I love hot chicks on the farms with them Daisy Dukes on my tractor.
That wasn't very funny.
No. See? I'm done.
Yeah, okay, let's just cut this early.
I'm out of here. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, it's been a time. It's yeah. It's man.
It's incredible how you can say absolutely nothing while saying words.
Yeah.
Words.
Words. Yeah.
Dude, that's my favorite response now to somebody just like sending a long thing. You just reply words.
Like, well, man, you expect
with no spaces, just words.
you expect me to read that? Come on.
Just no other explanation. Just that's all you type.
Right.
It's the new too long did not read, which is another banger. I love just dunking people with that one.
Oh, that's a classic.
When somebody sends you like a heartfelt 4 paragraphs, you just type too long did not read.
Right. Oh, that's classic. Yeah.
And that's the same thing. They're probably just like, cool, I'm gonna go rope now. See you later.
Yeah. 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 That's
I've never been burned so badly in my entire life.
That's equivalent to bombing doing stand up, probably.
Yeah. Sending somebody a long heartfelt message and they just say lol TLDR.
Yeah. Oh, it kills you. It kills you. Absolutely.
TLDR Lamau.
Yeah.
It happens, Jamie. Dude, it's happened to me. You know, it's happened to the best of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess. I don't know. I do hate the feeling of just someone just or to be honest, at least that's kind of funny. It's worse when someone doesn't even answer, I guess.
That's fair, but also that's more of a TLDR is of course more tongue in cheek. That involves you having some sort of relationship with this person.
Yeah, because then you're like, oh, ha, my friend is funny. But yeah, it's worse when someone just ignores you.
Okay, I will say this: I don't think anybody. I've never sent more than like a few. Like I don't think I've ever sent 4 paragraphs to someone I don't know that
Who's
that was
ignoring you.
That then ignores me. I just feel like that doesn't come up very often.
No.
Where I go, hello, stranger. I just want to pour out my heart to you. Please read.
Yeah. Do you know there are people who do that though. They'll keep messaging people even if they're not answering them. I've never understood that concept.
Oh, that's just creepy, clingy romance.
Yeah. Well, I've even like
I understand it.
Yeah. I just because
it 100% comes from just a place of I want this person to like me or know me, and I'm just going to keep trying.
Yeah. I've always stuck with what's the word? With the ethics of if I were to message someone once and they don't answer, it's possible maybe I'd message them one more time. If they don't answer me after 2 times, I'm just like, okay, it's on them now. If they never get back to me, then that's that.
Yeah, 2 is the maximum. If that and 2 is like the reach.
Yeah,
but it's an acceptable reach.
And there is the odd time where the second one, someone will be like, "Oh, sorry, yeah." Like,
yeah, sometimes they do just genuinely not, like they're like, "Oh yeah, I actually didn't see that. That's my bad."
Yeah, and I am bad for that personally. Anyway, I do actually go a long time, especially on social media. Like, I go a long time without responding to people sometimes just because I forget. Like,
yeah,
you see something, you're just like, I don't really want to answer this right this second.
No, I believe in the 2 strikes you're out principle.
Yeah,
it's
yeah, exactly. One. Yeah, that's my motto, my ethics. But no, there's some people who just don't get that. They'll just keep going.
Yeah, they just have I don't get it either. Like, I have enough self-pride to not do that.
Just say, "Hey, what's up?" every week. And then no response, and they just try again next week. And then
but Jamie,
there's like 15.
What if it works 5% of the time? That means they're getting 5% more than we are.
5% more attention.
With 95% of embarrassment and shame.
Yeah. Man, you know what I just realized?
What, Jamie?
I've never stood while we record this.
Really, eh? I guess you haven't.
No.
I like to pace sometimes.
I see you're standing here, and now we both have a higher perspective.
Well, Jamie, I was about to say that we're out of time.
Oh, well, it's at least we're ending with higher perspective.
On a high note.
On a high note, yes. Perfect.
All right.
Man.
Thanks for listening, folks.
All right.
We'll see you around.
Yeah, stay safe and bye.